This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Previously, on Back to the Story.
You see him kind of limply getting up. It is cold, though his left eye is badly bruised, like swollen shut. The magic seems to be an extra-dimensional space in the sphere itself, and that by concentrating for a minute, you can move inside the extra-dimensional space.
That might be a better plan for getting everyone out of here.
That depends on how hospitable it is inside.
Yeah, so we'd better check on it in that case.
And you kind of realize now, taking all this in at once, there's 3 figures. All 3 of them are tieflings. Alright, well, let's begin this goddamn horror story, shall we?
Amen, amen.
Amen. So you guys all cast various spells and abilities, preparing for something to come out. Waiting a couple minutes, nothing came out. And so you suddenly decided to press back in, hoping to stave off or prevent whatever ritual someone was casting inside. Stitches, you're the first person to be able to walk in. Well, walk. The rest of you see Stitches disappear. Stitches, you are pulled out, or you push yourself forward through the flames, landing on the ground. Seeing this similar sight, except to your left and the right, are figures, and their weapons are coming towards you.
So I am just coming in with Eldritch Blast in my hands, just throwing it at the first 2. So there's one on my left and my right. And I would like to throw one at each of them.
Okay.
Ooh! That's a 15 to my left and a 14 to my right.
The left hits.
Okay. So that one will take 14 points of force damage and will be blasted 10 feet to the left.
Okay. And they are going to use a dodgy move to try and half that. Whichever one dodgy people do. And that is a 16 to hit you.
That will hit me.
Okay. So that is a blade goes into you, dealing 26 acid damage.
Sweet. Okay. And I was doing this kind of at a move, so I will keep on moving.
And 23 piercing damage.
Okay.
And I assume a 21 hits you as well.
Yeah, it does.
12 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, hold on. This is going to be really exciting, guys.
So as you came in with Eldritch Blast prepared, stretching your arms to left and right to release towards these figures, their weapons are coming down, landing into you. A heavy maul to the right, and a long dagger sinking in to the left, with acid kind of being almost injected inside of you as they withdraw the blade, or where they are blasted backwards.
Felix hears a mangled scream, and I kind of stumble forward and to the right.
Right, so you're moving into the room. That will bring us up to Ellery.
So, let me get a quick look at what the situation seems to be here. I see there's a tiefling directly to my right.
A muscular female holding a maul, these marks all over her arms and legs, barb wrapped around this vine around her left arm.
Now that description sounds familiar to me. Have I seen her before?
It's been a while.
Heritage Pacts?
Yeah, and then to your left you recognize them as well. Voyage, beard, clawed face, dagger out, dripping this dark liquid. As it hits the stone, it burns it away, leaving pockmarks. As the third tiefling is conducting magic around a small ritual circle.
So, what I'm going to do is, I realize I just wasted a spell slot, but that's okay. I'm going to cast Storm Sphere where that tiefling at the ritual circle is, centered on him.
Okay.
That one needs to make a strength saving throw.
As you begin to cast the spell and you hear thunder rolling around and the wind begins to pick up, they lift the hand up with the rosary, twist it over as you feel this kind of ice forming over your hand, trying to prevent you from casting the spell, so they cast counterspell just at 3rd level.
Okay. I've never had this used against me. I don't really know how it works.
Storm Sphere
is 4th level.
Storm Sphere is 4th.
So they have to roll.
Yes.
Okay. What are they rolling against?
14. It's 10 plus the level of the spell.
It's going to be close. They didn't roll great, but not horrible. 13. So the spell continues and gets off. So he has to make a strength save.
So he has to make a strength save.
Fails.
Okay. Then that will be 5 points of bludgeoning damage to him. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to send a lightning strike from the center of the sphere towards Voyage. Because fuck him.
Okay.
That is a 16 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. 16 points of lightning damage to Voyage.
Right.
And that is it for me. Actually, no, I'm gonna 5-foot shift towards Voyage just to make a little bit more room by the door.
Okay. I will bring this up to and Voyage is going to step up, pulling the dagger back. And it just stands there. Vesper, so you are pulled through.
And I should have my angels in a 15-foot radius around me.
Okay.
And I don't know if that counts as them entering or the
I think
sphere?
it's a start of their turn thing, isn't it?
It is. It's when they enter it for the first time or start its turn there.
So yeah, that'll be on their turns.
Cool. Cool. Well, I'm right next to this chick. So the first thing I'm going to do is 5-foot shift.
Oh, sorry. I just realized I should have gotten a surge there.
Okay. Roll a D100.
Okay.
This is before I show up.
Yes, this is before Vesper shows up. That's a 23.
Okay. So as you look up and Voyage begins to step forward, beard, claw marks across his face, presumably from ore, drawing the dagger, dripping this acrid liquid from the tip. With his blue tiefling skin, you feel this strange coolness come upon you. And as Vesper, as you shift forward, you look to your left and see Ellery, and her skin has turned blue, almost to match Voyage's. So Vesper, what do you do?
Well, I kind of give her a strange look. And then I'm going to look around at my surroundings, notice that Stitches is not doing too well. So I'm going to cast Healing Word. All I have are first levels, though. But that is going to be, not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 7 hit points back. And I also heal 3. And then I'm going to whip around and with my action, because that's a bonus action, this person next to me, I'm going to cast, let's go with Toll the Dead. So they need to make a wisdom save.
Okay. Bad. 10.
Great. And they've been wounded?
They have not.
Okay. So just 2d8 then. 10 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna 5-foot shift.
As the actually deal the full non-damage, because they are wounded by the barb. There's open wounds.
Haha, alright. Oh, then that is 18 necrotic damage.
Okay.
As I then 5-foot shift this way.
Take 5 points of poison damage. So as you open up the wounds around their arms and legs, where the barb is wrapped around, a blood kind of pours out dark and acrid and splashing on you and burning into your flesh a bit.
You said 6?
5.
Six. Okay, cool. That's my turn.
Okay. That will bring us up to her. She's going to 5-foot shift right here.
She needs to make, her speed is halved, first of all.
Okay.
And then she needs to make a wisdom saving throw for starting her turn at my angels.
That is a 17.
That will make it, so it's going to be half damage. Which will be 14 half to 7. Radiant.
And Vesper, you should make a Constitution concentration check for
Yes,
poison.
correct. Thank you. I'm really bad at those. It's a 12, so I'm good.
And you take 5 more points of poison damage. Staying next to her. Make another save.
Okay. Not like this. That's a 4.
Okay. So the spell drops.
Shit.
But she is, after being hit by you again and again, you can tell she was going for Ellery, and she turns and takes a swing at you instead. That is a 14 to hit.
No, sir.
And a 23 to hit.
Yes, sir.
That's 19 bludgeoning damage.
Jesus Christ.
Make a alchemy check when you get a second.
Okay.
As Voyage, who was holding their action to attack until they were flanking, is going to now attack you, Ellery. It's a 21 to hit.
I will cast shield, and it will not
Does that
hit.
not hit? Okay.
Which attribute is that? What skill? My
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay, so that's a 12.
Okay. So that is Hide. That is Voyage. And that will bring us up to Felix, who is going to be, but you actually right here. Because you're still kind of partially in these flames. They don't seem to burn you, but you do feel the heat as you come out of the doorway.
Okay. Just getting the lay of the land here for a second. Oh, she's right in front of me. And that guy down by the circle is still actively casting something?
Seems to be, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going to look down there and cast Hypnotic Pattern. It's a 30-foot cube, but he's the only one in it. And he has to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Ugh, that's bad. That's a 3.
That will fail. On a failed save, the creature becomes charmed for the duration. While charmed by the spell, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0.
Okay. So as he's casting the spells, the hypnotic pattern, these strange lights begin to flicker in front of his eyes, and he slowly kind of lowers the rosary and the staff a bit.
And I'll just shout out, "Don't touch him!" As I will just kind of slip past Vesper, and I'm going to go to this side of Ellery, or that the big thing.
Yeah. You can get there, but you can't get there with a 5-foot shift.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll take the hit.
25 to hit.
Yeah.
10 bludgeoning.
Okay. I will make my concentration to maintain arcane weapon. I'm good. I'm sorry, how much damage? 10?
10.
And bonus action, I will summon Aeon near Voyage.
Okay. So as you step in, charming the spellcaster who's trying to complete some sort of summoning ritual. The ashes are still churning in the center of the magic circle, but have slowed somewhat. Completing Felix's turn, bringing us to Amson. You see as Stitches, Ellery, Vesper, Felix all disappear. You remain. So for this round, you can make another charisma save if you attempt to try it again. Kind of still completing that minute, but trying again to bang through the door.
Yeah, I'll just keep concentrating until I get in. Hey, that's a lot better. That is 25, I think. Let me make sure. 17 plus 8 is 25. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So remind me when it gets to your turn again. So you don't get in this round at least. And that will bring us up to Ball, who does, but there's a size problem that I have to fucking figure out. These are disallowed. Ball, make a deck save, I guess. There's only one way for you to go, I guess.
Do I do it with advantage because the DM is trying to screw me?
You do it at regular roll because the DM is trying to screw you.
That's a 14.
You come out of the flames, propelled above. You see Ellery and then this muscular tiefling. You kind of duck under you as you go flying over them. You land and manage to. You partially land onto the brazier. You're able to step to the side a bit and prevent from falling face first into it. But you're over here now. So you're kind of straddling between this platform that the brazier is on, which is about a half a foot higher than where the stairs are.
What is that giant sphere that I see in the center of the room?
There's a storm. So there's thunder and wind and things being picked up and chairs tossed around, lightning crackling.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try something that might not work. We'll see. So Ball will attack this, whoever this one is, the female.
Sure.
And I assume I can get advantage because of flanking?
Yeah.
And can I do so with the glaive? I don't think I've had time to attune to it, but Ball's probably more comfortable with the glaive than with the ball.
Yeah, you can use the glaive, but without attunement, it just functions as a regular non-magical glaive.
Okay. So with the glaive, and he's going to do Booming Blade. So the glaive with advantage. Great, that's a 12.
You strike the glaive towards her. She uses her maul to kind of knock the head of the sharp edge away from her. With a significant amount of force. You can see the veins are welling up, the vasculature expanding, dilating. You see her eyes are bulging.
Not how I wanted it to go down, so instead, Ball will use 2 sorcery points to try to attack again, using Booming Blade again. So with advantage, 25.
Yeah. So this time you correct and make your mark, sliding it across her flesh.
I'd like to put 3 points of flaming embers into this enemy. As a refresher, that was the change that we made to the lay on hands, so that it can kind of act as a fire damage burn. Or I don't remember if we said fire or radiant.
I think it was fire. Yeah.
Okay.
So points.
And then as for the actual damage, I will put I will put a level 4 smite into it as well. So 13 slashing from the glaive, 17 radiant. There's the 3 fire damage from the flaming embers, and then from the actual booming blade, it is 8 thunder damage.
Yeah, so as you strike into her, the vascular bulging, some of the blood splatters from her onto you. You take 5 points of poison damage. And you notice, though you hit her and sink in, the muscles are thick and they're almost like contracted supernaturally. Every muscle is contracted, bulging, and it doesn't affect her. She doesn't seem to notice it as much as you would expect her to.
All right. And then with my movement, I'd like to just do a 5-foot step to kind of regain my footing on this staircase.
Okay.
And just move there.
Perfect.
And that's all I can do to the beginning of my turn.
And that will bring us back around to Stitches. At the base of the stairs, the bulk of everyone are on that one platform with a storm before you and the spellcaster temporarily hypnotized, unmoving inside it.
Okay, since I'm down the stairs and everyone else is on that platform behind the brazier, I'm assuming do they have some cover? Do the 2 tieflings in the middle of everyone?
Not from you. They're not high enough to have enough cover. They're only about 10 feet above where you are.
I am sending one bolt of Eldritch Blast to each tiefling. The woman, that's 27 to hit.
It definitely hits. And I should clarify, I misspoke earlier. The other tiefling, the man, would have some cover because of Ball and Ellery.
Ah.
So you could use the other bolt towards the female if you chose, or you could still try to weave it between Ball and Ellery, your choice.
Well, if I had the option and I knew he had cover, I would send one towards the female tiefling and one towards the pile of writhing ashes.
Okay, sure. And yeah, you would know that's your choice. That does hit the female.
So, okay, 27, and then the pile of writhing ashes, that would be a 13.
That hits as well. Then roll damage.
All right, so the female tiefling gets 9 points of damage and is shoved back 10 feet. And the writhing ashes get 14 points of damage. And I suppose if they can be moved out of the circle, they get moved, but I don't know how that works.
You scatter some of the ashes that get caught in the wind as you blast it. You also blast the woman. She doesn't go far. She's knocked into the edge of the amber glass before she begins to recover. Do you want to stay there, Stitches?
No. I am going to move as far away as I can. If I go around that over there.
Okay. That brings us up to Ellery.
I had a thought, but I'm rethinking my thought. Okay. Yeah, first thing that I'm going to do is send a bolt of lightning from the center of the sphere at Voyage again.
Okay.
And that is a 26 to hit.
That hits.
And this time, I am...
Let me read something real quick. He effectively has basically total cover behind Ball. He would be able to hit Voyage.
Shit. Then I am going to send that against the lady behind me instead.
Sure, and you can keep the same roll.
Okay.
And it hits.
Yeah, it's not great. It's 12 points of lightning damage on her.
And he slams into her. She has her back against the flames.
And that was my bonus action. So for my action, I am going to cast Shocking Grasp on Voyage.
Go for it.
That's not great. That is a 12.
That misses. The lightning strike out towards him and he quickly dodges to the side, shifting his weight onto just one foot.
All right. And that...
So you have your movement left, if you wanted to move, otherwise.
I am considering that. Yeah, so I'm going to move 5-foot shift back just a little bit so that I'm directly next to the scary lady. And because Felix said not to hit the caster in the center, I'm going to drop Storm Sphere.
Okay. The Storm Sphere's gone. The wind and thunder suddenly come very still. You can see this other tiefling that was casting the ritual you can see him clearly now. And he's just standing there, kind of swaying from side to side. That will bring us up to him. And I believe since you dropped that spell, he just continues to stare off in the distance towards these twinkling lights, the mouth slowly opening. And that will bring us up to Vesper.
If I'm making a melee spell attack and I'm flanking, do I get advantage?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, melee.
Fantastic. I would like to cast my last spell of the day for an inflict wounds at first level on our dear poisonous friend here. Oh, very bad. 15?
That will miss.
God fucking damn it.
The magic rushes out towards her. She kind of sees it from her peripheral and suddenly lunges into you, shoulder checking you, throwing you off balance enough to where the magic harmlessly hits the flames and walls to your left.
Okay, having a great time. Well, yep, RIP guys. Bonus action to disengage, and I'm going to go 5, a 10, a 15, 20, 25.
Okay.
That's all, folks.
That will bring us up to her. She's going to continue to wail on Ellery, though she no longer has advantage, but that is a 14 to hit you, Ellery.
That does not hit me.
And a 24 to hit you.
That hits me.
15 bludgeoning damage as she slams this massive maul into your chest, slamming your back into the wall behind you, kind of smushing you for a moment.
That's fair.
That will bring us up to Voyage, who is going to and strike towards you. Oh boy, that's a 26, natural 20.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, that is 40 acid damage.
Ouch.
And 54 points of piercing damage.
I'm down, and that almost killed me outright.
Half a moment after the mole slams into your chest, rocking you off your feet, you feel the first impact in your chest. You hear a sickening crack, sternum breaking, probably a few ribs. There's a second impact, crack. The back of your head slams into the wall, your head thrown back, and you're dazed, dizzy. You suddenly feel this sinking deep into your chest, plunging almost up under the ribs, going through the diaphragm and up towards your heart, and you feel just the insides of you burning away before everything goes black, and Ellery drops to the floor. That brings us up to Felix.
Okay. Felix is going to 5-foot shift up. He is going to... No, not going to do that. I can't... You know what? I'm not going to shift. Instead, I am going to look at Voyage and cast Dissonant Whispers at him. So he has to make a Wisdom saving throw.
9.
So he fails. So he takes 15 psychic damage and must immediately use his reaction to move as far away from me as his speed will allow. It does provoke opportunity attacks.
Okay. Let me double check his movement speed. This, I guess, is the best. So 30. Ball would get an attack of opportunity.
Yes, I will use my inspiration for the attack. And it's Booming Blade with the glaive that I'm going to be doing. So this is advantage 18. Does 18 hit?
18 hits.
Alright. So that's 5 slashing. I'm going to put a 4th level smite into him as well because why not? 22 radiant, and then the Booming Blade should also trigger since he has to run away, so that'd be 12 total thunder damage. And I'll put 3 more points of flaming embers into him for 3 fire.
Yeah, the glaive, as you swing it, it burns with fire and with radiant light as it slashes into his back, almost knocking him over as he tumbles off the side of the platform, tucking and rolling before kind of coming to his feet, struggling to stand up. He stands up, but he's looking very rough. The blood is just pouring, soaking his clothes. And that will... Felix, anything else for you? I think you still have your movement.
I will actually move, with my bonus action, move Aeon over to the big lady near me.
Barbara.
And I'm gonna 5-foot shift back and try, or you know what, I'm actually gonna move. She can take a reaction if she wants, to try and bait her towards me instead. You know what, not there. Let's go there. I still want Vesper to have a path, so I'll go there.
That is a 23 to hit.
Yeah.
12 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, and my concentration check on Hypnotic Pattern is a 17 plus a lot.
Yeah.
That's my turn.
Okay, that will bring us up to Amson, who is going to be shunted in just the next closest space to the door. You suddenly force your way through the flames and suddenly see the sight. This room. You see to your left immediately the hulking woman, drugged out on this barb wrapped around her arm. You see someone standing, kind of swaying back and forth, halfway completing a ritual. You see the wounded Voyage as well. Hillary's on the ground. I don't know if you could see her, but someone's on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, there's Voyage. She's all the way over there. Okay.
You may not even be able to see him, but you know someone's over there. There's a trail of blood.
Okay.
Ball's a big boy.
Oh boy. Okay. Do I want to try this or do I want to try something else? You know what? I'm going to run around this lady. Actually, I think I can 5-foot step. I'll 5-foot step around her, and then I will grab Ellery and dimension door her behind Vesper over here.
So, For the 5-foot shift, you can't cut enemy's corner or
Okay, then
friends.
I'll just run around her. I don't care.
Yeah, no problem. She's already used her reaction anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, you can get to Ellery.
Yeah, so I'll dimension door her out and then beside Vesper.
Okay. You grab her, shifting quickly, appearing over there. Anything else for you, Hampson?
Just look up at Vesper and say, "Sorry, I'm late," and that's my turn.
Okay, and that will bring us up to Ball.
So Ball is going to cast Hold Person at level 3 to target both of these, Voyage and Barbara. Because they're within 30 feet of each other, I should be able to get them both.
That's a wisdom saving throw?
Yes, wisdom saving throw.
That is a 7 and a natural 20, sir, for a 19 total.
So the 7 fails and the 19 passes. Or I guess natural 20 passes anyway, right?
As you cast the spell, the hulking female almost locks up. Kind of eyes looking from side to side. Voyage is finally kind of struggling to his feet, looking around, breathing heavily, blood pouring out of his open wound in his back. But he's still able to move, it appears.
And then with my movement, I'd like to run at Voyage. I mean, I have the movement to go down the steps, but maybe for flavor, I just jump off the steps to get into space. And then I'm going to use 2 sorcery points to, as a bonus action, attack him using Booming Blade. No advantage, just regular attack. And I don't think an 11 hits.
The glaive comes down, striking downward towards him, and he ducks. He almost like gets in your guard. He gets close to you. And the glaive just goes over his head.
Alright, well that's all I can do, so I'm going to end my turn there.
Okay, and that will bring us back up to Stitches.
So Barbara is being held by Ball, yes?
She's currently not moving.
Do I know if hurting her will affect that at all?
You don't think so. I mean, you're a 10th level character. You're probably aware of it. You're fine.
Alright, then I will move here to get...
This is what Felix heard when he first entered the mind of the Elven. Just static.
Sorry.
Anyway, it's perfect representation, okay. Actually.
Then I'll just do this really quickly. I will just do 2 blasts at Barbara.
Okay.
Both of them 18s.
Both hit.
Do you get advantage?
She does, actually. Yeah, so roll just in case they're 20s.
No. One of them was 1.
They both hit.
They're both 18s. And 12 and 7, so 19 points of force damage.
They slam into her, and she kind of flinches, but otherwise doesn't move.
And that's it.
That will bring us up to Ellery. Make a death saving throw.
11.
Okay. See, Ellery's lying on her back after Hampson pulled her through heavy gashes bleeding out, head back. And that will bring us up to Vesper. You're on deck, but not quite yet, because first we have Velvet, who's going to bonus action disengage. Since he disengaged, he is going to Voyage, after being under the guard of Ball, kind of tucks and rolls backward. Before Ball, you're able to do anything. He quickly jumps onto the table, scrambles across it, getting to the other side, realizing he's not going to get all the way there, and he pulls out a dagger to throw it at him. Actually, we'll say this makes more sense. He grabs a goblet off the table to throw it at his hypnotized ally that has been doing nothing for the last couple of rounds. The goblet towards the head of the mage casting the ritual. You can see it almost in slow motion as the goblet rotates, head over hilt. The Voyage is bleeding heavily. His balance is off. The goblet goes right over the head of the ritual tiefling, clattering along the floor. And that will bring us up to... Oh shit. I'm so sorry. I did that out of turn. There's 2 tieflings with V names. So Velvet does nothing. That's you, Vesper. I'm sorry about that. That was very cinematic.
Hella. Okay, great. I'm gonna basically just hop off the stairs, kneel down, put one hand on Ellery's face and the other on my holy symbol, and I'm gonna cast Channel Divinity, actually. And I'm going to heal her for, you said your max is 64? 32 hit points.
What the fuck?
Preserve life, bitches.
Life clerics.
Doesn't that work on more people if they're...
Yeah, does anyone else
half?
want 3 hit points next to me?
Elle?
Yeah, I'll give Elle the last 3.
I kind of cough and spit blood.
And, Jesus. I'm gonna move up to the ritual site, and that's my turn. I'm gonna start looking at what I can do to disrupt this.
Sure. So you heal Ellery as she kind of breathes in. Ellery, you can feel it's almost painful. It's like the same, an intense version of the soreness after an intense workout. As you feel your bones like melding back together. It's painful, but after it melds, it feels better as you breathe in once more. And Vesper, you run over, you see this pile of ashes. It's still moving and shifting and writhing, but not to the same extent as it was when you first entered this room. And that will bring us up to whole person gets a save at the end of the turn. Is that right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Wisdom save.
The muscular woman with the barb around her arm clenches her weapon. You can see her almost shaking, contracting her muscles strangely. Her nose begins to bleed, but she doesn't take a step. And now it'll bring us to Voyage. And because I already rolled, I'm going to say that same thing happens. He tucks and rolls under ball, crawls across the table, throws the goblet, but it goes over the head of the casting tiefling, unable to knock him out of it. Now it'll bring us up to Felix.
Okay. So Felix is going to... Oop, that's ruler. Get here, so he's got a clear shot at Voyage, and it doesn't have any special effects, but I'm going to throw him a dagger at him twice.
Okay.
That is a 23 and a 14.
That is against Voyage. Is that right?
Yes.
The first one hits.
7 piercing damage.
Daggers fly towards him. The first one sinking in as he almost like stumbles to his knees. As the dagger backs in, teleports back into your hand. He's alive, but barely.
All right. Well, that, I believe, is going to have to be my turn.
That will bring us up to Hamson.
Okay. Out of the 3 tieflings, how's everybody looking?
Voyage is on death's door. The barbed, muscular woman is actually looking pretty okay. She's tough as hell. The other guy is more or less uninjured, but he's hypnotized currently.
Okay. I'll save that for now. So I think what I'll do instead is I'm going to... I'll second level healing word Elle, Stitches, Elle. Unfortunately, that's not great. That's only 7. And then Amson will run into the center of the room, and he's going to use his action to cast Firebolt on the barbed tiefling with advantage because she's paralyzed.
Go for it.
Ooh, that's good. That is a 26.
Yeah,
Hit.
that's
And that's an auto crit because she's paralyzed, so...
only for melee.
Oh, right, only for melee. Rules. So I say it out loud.
Only
9.
for melee.
Only for melee.
9.666 repeating damage.
It's
Let's go
actually
to
9 fire damage.
Okay.
And it's a tiefling, so it probably takes half anyway.
The flames hit her, but it doesn't seem to bother her too much.
Whatever.
She does, she's sweating profusely. Eyes are bulging. Her vascular system is in overload. She's shaking and convulsing. She looks like she's having a heart attack. She's not looking good.
All right. Yeah, I guess that'll be my turn.
Ball. Voyage just tucked out of your reach, sliding across the table. What do you do?
Ball will just run at him. I think I've got the move for that. So Ball will get right on top of him, and then he will try to attack.
Oh boy.
It's going to do Booming Blade. An 11. So I'll use my last 2 sorcery points to try to attack him again. Using Booming Blade as bonus action now. For a natural 20.
Yeah. He rolls under the first strike as it hits the zone, where he spin and drive down. The second one, he tries to get to his feet. Slips on the blood as the glaive does what? Some amount of damage?
Well, I'm going to waste a spell slot just on principle, just so I can roll big shiny numbers. So that's a 4th level smite. It's a 10d8. So that's 34 radiant damage.
And that's with a bunch of ones rolled in there too.
Yeah. 15 slashing damage, 4 thunder, and then I'll roll one more for the crit, plus 8 thunder, so 12 thunder damage. So grand total of
10,000.
61 damage.
So yeah, as Voyage rolls under the first one, he tries to get up to dodge the second, but he slips on the blood and basically falls on his back as the glaive is coming down. How do you end him?
I think, Voyage is Voyage is distracted by trying to wake up his comrade here, and then getting daggers to the face from Felix. So Ball just comes around and just kind of stabs the glaive up his spine, where it kind of comes out the other side. And as he does so, he says, just kind of under his breath, he says, "I'm tired of talking to evil," and then pulls his glaive out.
As you say that, he tries to grab onto the glaive with his open hand. His other hand drops the long dagger that clings to the ground. He tries to say something, but he just manages to cough out blood before sliding off the glaive as you pull it out onto the floor, unmoving. Anything else for you, Ball?
With my remaining movement, I'll just take one step towards the angry Barbara. And that's the end of my turn.
And that will bring us up to Stitches.
2 Eldritch Blasts at Barbara.
At advantage.
That is 29 and 22.
Both hit.
15 and 11.
Nice. You just slam into her. They hit. As her back is against the wall, the flaming wall.
And I just kind of go, and that's my turn.
Alright, that will bring us up to Ellery. Conscious once more.
I mean, first thing I do is get to my feet, and I was sort of gearing myself up to try and take out Voyage, but seeing that is already done, I am just going to send a couple rays of Eldritch Blast at Barbara.
Go for it, at advantage.
So first is an 18.
Hits.
Second is a natural 20.
Also hits.
Will be 9 points of force damage.
9?
9.
Including the natural 20?
Yeah, I rolled 1 on 2 of the dice.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, you hit her. Okay, she's again just like getting pummeled, hitting against the wall, but still unmoving and standing. Is that your turn?
I think I am going to use what movement I have left just to move out a little bit more into the room.
Okay. That'll bring us up to the blue ritual casting tiefling who's still just staring off into space, and then to Vesper.
Sexy. I'm gonna get down and look at this ritual and try and see. So are the runes carved or are they written?
They appear to be written.
So can I smudge some of them out?
Yeah, they're on fire, but yeah, you can.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm resistant to fire. I'll start smudging them out.
Okay. Make a smudge check.
Can I pull out my water skin and just like wet my hand real quick and then just...
Sure. So that'll be your action.
Yeah, perfect.
We'll say you roll a d4 for me. And you get that many.
2.
Okay, so you get 2 of them.
Okay.
The two of the main ones. There's only maybe 6 or 7 main wounds. The ashes are still riding the pile of ashes, but they're moving very slowly at this point. That will bring us up to Barbara. Come on, Barbara. You can do it. So Barbara is clenching her weapon. You can see her teeth are like grinding against each other, these sharp teeth, the veins kind of pulsing out as she's just shaking. And then one hand lets go of the maul, and she takes one step forward, and then a second, just to kind of look around, realizing what's going on, and just starts charging.
But that save does happen at the end of her turn, so she will do that next turn.
Thank you. So she takes 2 steps and begins to charge. And that will bring us up to Felix. Just in time.
All right, so Felix is going to turn to the now unparalyzed Barbara. And so Aeon's still over by her. So he's going to do an information overload with his action. So she has to make an intelligence save.
That is a 17, but...
Please be down.
Is 16.
Haha, she just fails. So I will put a first level into that. So that's 4d8. Ooh. Okay. I rolled really well. That's 32 psychic damage. 2 8s and another 11. So yeah.
Yeah, so the information just overwhelms her. Open the floodgates to thoughts. And this she struggles with. She looks around confused and like swings like in just self-defense at Aeon, the image. It just passes through as it hits the wall on the other side. That hurt her severely. But she's still up. I'm
just going to run up the stairs, shield up, ready to be the one she gets to.
That'll bring us up to Hampson.
Okay, so she's moving now?
She's taken 2 steps. Yeah, she seems to be unparalyzed.
And I'll cast Hideous Laughter on her, so she needs to make a wisdom save.
16.
Unfortunately, that saves, because I didn't say the port. Well, no, yeah. It's still safe.
Okay.
Is there anything else that I want to do? I don't think so. Not right now, anyways. So I'm just going to move away from Barbara, because I don't like her. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. You cast this spell, but she doesn't seem to be able to hear you. She's just gritting her teeth, beginning to take steps. That will bring us up to Ball.
Ball will use his movement to... Glaive does have reach, right? So I'm going to be able to attack her here.
Yeah.
And you have advantage because of information overload. Gives one advantage on one attack.
Ooh.
She's busy fighting at Aeon, which is just futile.
Okay, so I'm going to attack with Glaive again with advantage. 20.
That hits.
I don't get to do any magic stuff to it, so it's just a whopping 4 slashing damage.
Yeah, so she's just nose bleeding, overloaded, swinging at Aeon, and you swing the blade towards her, and it like skins her shoulder a bit, but she doesn't even seem to really notice that you hit her. She's busy dealing with this Aeon brain creature.
And with my bonus action, just because I haven't done it, I'll use a charge of my Mantle of Flame.
Yeah.
Burst into
flame. Burst into flames, Ball the flaming tornado giant now. And that will bring us up to Stitches.
She's going to do another 2 Eldritch Blasts at Barbara. That is 25 and a dirty 20.
Yeah, both those hit.
Ooh. Another 15 and a 13.
Damn. It was starting to be worn down. She's starting to look rough. She's still standing, but all the wounds that all of you have opened up on her are beginning to take their toll. Up until Felix overloading her, she looked pretty fine, actually. And that will bring us up to Ellery.
I think I'm going to start walking across the room towards Voyage's body, pausing for a moment to send almost carelessly, a couple of rays of Eldritch Blast at Barbara.
Okay. Straight rolls.
Okay. First is a 13. Second is 25.
She dodges the first one, but runs into the second one as it slams into her chest.
That's better. That's 16.
Well, 16 is reduced to 8, which is how much hit points she has left.
Of force damage?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So how do you end her?
I'm not even really looking in her direction totally as I do this. I think I just kind of casually fling that ray of Eldritch Blast at her, muttering "fuck you" in Infernal as I do so. And
I like to imagine you shoot her a bird.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
Okay. So you're just casually, not even making eye contact as the Eldritch Blast flies out of your middle finger, slamming her in the chest as she's lifted off the ground, hitting the back flaming wall before she slumps to her knees, and then her face hits the stone face down as Ellery's moving in the room.
I just keep walking forward a little bit more towards Voyage.
And hypnotic pattern up to a minute. I think we can come out of combat. I think you'll have basically a few rounds if you wanted to basically prepare to deal with this last tiefling. He's the only one alive. I would prefer, if it's possible, to not go into combat, since it's literally like he would be overwhelmed and it wouldn't be fun to play through that. So we'll kind of come out of combat. You guys have, with hypnotic pattern, basically a few rounds to figure something out with this tiefling. This last one who's the lights are beginning to flicker out.
I'm going to keep scrubbing out the rooms as fast as I can.
Okay, so Vesper's doing that. What are the rest of you guys doing?
If he's still dazed and I can do it without damaging him, I'm just going to tie his hands.
Okay.
Behind his back.
Sure.
I'm going to be shooting Eldritch Blast at the mass in the middle of the circle.
Sure. Just roll some damage. No need to roll to hit.
Ball's going to loot Barbara.
Okay. Amson?
Amson's going to help Vesper scratch out the runes with prestidigitation or something.
Okay. And Ellery.
I think at this moment I'm just looking down at Voyage's body and maybe feeling a little bit of what I got from Orr when we spoke earlier. That sort of conflicted feeling about being like so angry at this person for quite some time now, but also that lingering sort of like, this used to be my friend.
Okay. So running through all of that, between Vesper and Amson, you guys scrubbing away through magic or through water, scrubbing away the runes, you're able to do so in the next couple of rounds. The ashes are still moving, but they're slowly coming to a halt now that the runes are gone. It's also aided by Stitches, who is just blasting the ashes. So each time the pile is smaller and smaller until it seems like it's not really moving much anymore. A Ball, you move over to Barb. She doesn't really have much on her. She has a big maul. It's very big. No armor to speak of. She does have that strange brackish brown-red root that's wrapped around her arm. And Vesper, as you're scrubbing, you get this information. You rolled well enough earlier, but you were in the heat of the movement, so it didn't come to you, but it's come to you now as you're finishing the last rune. You remember your dad when you were maybe 14, 13, something like that, working with this. He used thick leather gloves and he told you about it. It's a plant supposedly from hell, and that when the thorns prick you, it causes your muscles to grow in strength, your blood vessels to dilate, your heart to beat faster. It makes you stronger and effectively able to shrug off damage, all damage besides psychic. But at the end of the minute, if you're not tough enough, you have a heart attack and you die. Each time you use this the DC effectively decreases by 1 to a minimum of 5. So people that use this are tough, and if they've survived long enough to be consistent users, they're both tough as nails and probably a bit crazy to risk so much in the first place. And she was covered in these scars.
Ball, don't touch that root.
And Felix, you're able to pretty easily grab some rope and tie his hands behind his back, separating his staff and rosary from him. The last of the glittering hypnotic lights begin to fade out. As the tiefling is speaking some other language and chanting something, he kind of looks around, realizes he's not holding anything, and not only that, but he can't move. His arms are stuck behind his back as he kind of looks around, starts to survey the scene. Well, this is an unfortunate series of events. This will be an unfortunate delay in plans, but I hope you do realize this will be only in a delay.
Yeah. I'm sure you're still going to get whatever it is that you want. What was that exactly?
He kind of struggles. He knocks his head back, trying to keep his glasses from falling down his nose too much. What is it that you're referring to?
Well, you got a big brain in a tank, a now dead tiger demon, and whatever's going on here. So there's a lot. If you want to just make we can just knock them out one by one.
Well, that is the ravishing High Prince Orath. My, boss, so to speak. We were trying to rush his return. He, of course, stopped us, but he will come back on his own, though it may take him a bit longer. As for our plans, I, of course, cannot disclose them.
I suggest you do, friend, and I'm going to cast Suggestion.
Oh, boy.
And not only that, but I'm going to use Portent, and he rolls a natural 2.
Okay. Not that it matters, because soon my High Prince will return to devour all of your souls. We're creating a new way of life here in Imbashore. That device you're referring to is one of the most elegant and intricate pieces of designed arcane technology to be witnessed by fools who don't comprehend it. It is a soul vault. And when the Festival of Orbs finally reaches midnight and all of those souls and lights flow through, they will be drawn down into it to be consumed by my High Prince, who will cleanse this city of those who don't have the strength to do what is necessary. And in their place, the princes of Orath will become the rulers of this city, myself included as the primary designer of that technology.
Oh, you think you're going to live? That's cute.
Well, not that it matters.
So, how do we get rid of it now?
Get rid of
the device, the brain, all that?
They're complicated, and undertaking far too complex for you, I'm afraid. Right. Took us quite a long time to gain control over it. Sunk in a bog, finally tracking down the crystals over many years of work. And the technology we had to delve in to deep ruins to find to actually control it. Undoing that process is no simple feat. Not something I could explain to you in a few minutes. Perhaps not if I had years.
So it took you years to find these crystals, though? And they're vitally important to this device?
The crystals are a trail of breadcrumbs that lead to, the grey matter, sunk beneath a bog, searching it for years before we found it. The crystals are an adhesive. They're simply a connector that connects the grey matter to the greater arcanotech and the funnel and fuel, which are the emberstones.
Yes. So if we were to simply smash those, I don't think your device would work. Was that just a few minutes?
It will be prepared. But you must.
I'm going to reach over and just push his glasses up his nose.
No, thank you. At least one of you has some decorum of politeness.
You said there was a desk here somewhere?
There is. There's a bookshelf in the north side of the sphere, and beyond it is a desk. It is full of notes and open books and diagrams and all sorts of stuff.
If he's going over to look at that, I would like to move over and take a look at this sort of offering bowl at the foot of the statue.
It's kind of similar to the statue of Aidmer, except this statue is of Mr. Belvedere, the Roxasha.
Is there anything in the offering bowl?
There are. There's a number of gems and some coins. There's also 2 chests that kind of flank it behind it.
I am going to just casually flip that offering bowl onto the floor.
It clatters slowly and annoyingly, kind of coming to a stop. Kind of wah, 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 wah.
Then I'm
stops.
Gonna pick up the gems.
Sure. Felix, make either an investigation or a Arcana check. Arcana would probably get you more, but the DC's higher.
My Arcana is better than my investigation right now, so I will do that. 18.
18. Briefly going through, and there's a lot. It's not something you can go over in a few minutes, but you kind of skim through everything. You first find basically schematics, directions, instructions for the device outside. They are highly complex, and though you are pretty sure you could figure it out, it's not something you can figure out in 5 minutes. The actual functioning of it, though you do figure you could take away any piece of it and it would stop working. It's delicate and draws power from abyssal demons, aberrations, and infernal magic as well. It's a mix. You also find a few other files that are not related to the design. Notes on the so-called princes of Allwrath. You have names in there. Prince Garrus Kaiser, Prince Kreloth Kane, Prince Osius Ildred. It goes through a number of names. Some of the nicknames you do recognize, Voyage being one of them. They all have some nickname, Velvet, Hide, Maul, Matron. I'll get you those notes shortly.
Do I see any, seals of the Fernarms or anybody else that implicates noble houses?
You find Fernarm seals, a few of them on a few notes. You also find with an 18, I'll say you find some Norbel symbols, but they're clearly forged. They're not good, but someone's been practicing making these. There's notes on infiltrating the Norbels. It would take you some time to read it, and I can give you that info, but you get their plans politically and sort of arcane design side as well.
I'll just, for the rest of this, Felix is probably just digging through these, and he'll pass that on.
Sure.
I'm gonna help this tiefling sit, probably at the altar or something like that.
Okay.
Because I guess I'm playing good cop now.
Sure.
I was just trying to be patronizing, but this is fine. So you said that your prince would cleanse the city of those who don't... Sorry, what did you say? You said don't have what it takes to do what's necessary?
Yes. Some of us are not bound by petty morals.
And what is necessary? What do you hope to see for the city?
To rule, to bring it into prosperity.
What sort of prosperity?
Power. Gold is transient. The power of souls, my dear.
What would that accomplish? I love Embershore and, want to see it prosper as much as anyone else.
I have a feeling that we're on opposite sides of the continuum. You like to sit on your pure white ivory tower and high horse looking down at anyone that disagrees with you.
I'm also fairly open-minded and subject to listening to unusual viewpoints.
Is that why you've come in here and slaughtered us?
Well, I didn't slaughter any of you.
No matter. My prince will return. Whether in a month, or 10 months, or 5 years, or in 10 years. when you're sleeping or when your family's sleeping.
All right, so less fun question. Why should I keep you alive and not just shove a dagger through your neck right now?
Well, I know quite a lot. I understand all the schematics your friend is looking over. I'm sure I could figure it out, but it would take some time. I also understand the interworkings of the Princes of Allrath, of which you've killed, well, a few of us. I know where the rest of them are, who they are, and I know things about Allrath himself. I would never prefer to betray my High Prince, but if pardoning was available, I'm sure I could be persuaded to lend you a hand at quelling him permanently.
Do I believe him?
Do I believe him? Yeah.
Make an insight check.
Ooh, that's
I was going to say I wish I
not
had
great.
anything, but I got it. 22.
10.
18.
You're not sure whether he'll follow through or not, but he does seem like intent of trying to weasel his way out of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there's normally only one way to take out such a fiend, and that's to go through where they spawn, kill them, and perform a ritual with their heart. It's not pleasant, and you likely won't survive long enough to get there. There are other methods, though they are quite secret and complex and require certain inside information.
All right. Felix, you can read his mind, can't you?
Not today, but if we keep him alive till tomorrow, I can do that.
So if I cut off his hands and cut out his tongue, it wouldn't really matter, right?
No, not even
Great.
a little bit.
Good to know.
Well, that's quite enough information for you today. Shall we get out of here?
I look to the others. Are you taking him with us?
I don't see why not. We should probably, make sure he can't speak while we're getting out of here.
I'll find something and just shove it in his mouth.
Sure.
I don't really care what it is, a rock, a candle, something.
There's like a tablecloth. I mean, if you want, there's a candle too, if you prefer the candle, but
I'll properly tie something so that, he can't just spit it out.
So, if we're planning to take Orr in here, we need to tell him about Voyage first before he sees the body.
You should probably do that.
Yeah. I kind of wanted Voyage to know who we were, but maybe ultimately it's better.
Speaking of that, actually, I'm gonna take more of the tablecloth and blindfold our new buddy. Take his glasses too, and just tuck them in a pocket. So he still got them on him. So it is very patronizing, and then just blindfold him. Put the glasses on over the blindfold.
Just draw a mustache on him while we're at it.
I want to go. I would like to search Voyage.
Okay. He has on him. Make an investigation check.
I'm so good at these.
Can I inspire her?
Sure.
So I'm going to inspire you, Ellery, and Amson's going to say, people like Voyage tend to keep hidden pockets around them. Check his boots.
Okay. And that's a D8?
D8.
Okay. That's a 15.
Okay. He is wearing no armor. Interestingly enough. Fine clothes, but no armor. He does have on his finger a ring. It looks like a signet ring, so that you don't recognize the symbol of any house. He has a light crossbow, a dagger, and he also has this other dagger that's a bit longer. You notice that the hilt of it can unscrew. When you do so, it drips out liquid. It looks like you could fill this cap, basically, on the end of the dagger with something, acid or poison, and then screw it into the blade. The blade has a very thin, hollow point down the shaft. It's almost like a needle.
Is that blade magical?
Do you use magic eyeballs?
I'm reading, so no.
Okay. So I will take the ring and both daggers.
Okay.
I can cast Eldritch Sight to detect magic. So if any of those are magic or if there's any other magic items around the room.
So what's left of the ashes, there's a little bit of magic that was quickly fading. There's a similar magic from the altar, though it's not super strong. I'm sorry, not the altar, the statue, which is kind of an altar. The whole glass wall is magical. Like the whole place kind of reeks of magic. The staff and the rosaries that the guy with the glasses had were magic. Nothing on her, and the ring is magical, but not the blade.
Okay, and I pass that information on.
Amson, when you get a chance, could you take a look at this ring?
Yeah, it'll take me 10 minutes, but definitely can.
Should we go check on those people we left in the hallway?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's a good idea.
So do you guys try to exit?
Should we leave?
Felix is
tied up here?
not. Felix will be staying here, so you
I
can.
Whether we leave that guy here or not, I don't think we should leave him alone.
No, but Felix said he's going to stay, so... Anyone else want to hang back?
I should probably go out.
Yeah, you need to talk to Orr.
I'll head out with Hillary.
Okay. Ball? Stitches?
I'm not staying here.
Actually, Ball, you might need to stay since you're big. Even your disguise doesn't look quite right.
Okay, I'll keep them company.
Okay. And I'll stick around here. Actually, no, I should probably get out. I'm gonna go too.
Okay, so who's leaving?
Ellery,
Vesper,
Stitches,
Snark Squad.
Vesper, Amson.
Yeah, everyone except Felix and Ball.
Okay. You guys have to make saves, but I'm not going to make you do them. It may take you a little while, but you eventually get out. Until someone attunes to this and kind of gives someone permission, you have to do that. You guys eventually do so, coming out, arriving in the beneath the statue to Vaidmer.
Okay, so let's go check on our freed prisoners. We've got to... Actually, we probably need to attune to the sphere so we can get them in there. Then we'll need to talk to Orr, possibly get him in the sphere. And then we need to get out of here and go to the Covenant.
I guess you can get your boyfriend's help on this?
Well, he's right here, so, you know.
I can.
Let's go check on
to
people.
this thing if you want.
I'm going to go check on our prisoners.
Vesper?
Okay. So we'll kind of fast forward a little bit through this. It sounds like you check on the people. They're fine. The frog guy is drinking some more wine and basically does some goofy shit where he threatens to fight the bad guys with an empty bottle of wine. But they're fine. Orr is fine. Who's attuning to the sphere?
I will.
Okay, so Hampson, you take time to attune to the sphere.
And I need to talk to Orr.
Up to 12 people to enter and exit freely. You can change that once every short rest.
Can I give permission to people who are already in the sphere?
You can, yeah.
Okay,
as long as they're large or smaller.
Vesper, if I know what the Rakshasa curse does, don't roll hit dice.
I do know what it does, but I was still going to try and patch myself up because I'm not looking awesome. I'm not going to roll all of them, though.
So, Amson, you have attuned to it, we'll say. Vesper, if you try to get a short rest, you're unable to focus. These images keep going through your mind, and they're not clear, but they keep coming to your mind. Felix, same thing happens to you if you try to take a rest. Amson, do you allow the prisoners in, or do you give permission to other people? You have up to 12.
So I can get the entire party, the three villagers, Colt, and the frog dude. That's 11 people, 12 including me.
Okay.
So basically everybody that we have except for the tiefling dude. Okay.
So you do so, and then you move the free prisoners inside, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's getting a little crowded in there, not too bad though. And then as you guys move the sphere to Orr, who is in that chamber where he normally is, Ellery, you can kind of see him kind of turning to greet you.
I think Ellery looks pretty nervous going up to talk to him. So, we have a way to get out of here, but I need to tell you something first.
Speak.
It's about Voyage, your father. There's no easy way to say this, so I'm just going to tell you, he's dead.
Or kind of lowers his head a bit. Do you know Draconic?
I know Infernal.
Okay, so he's speaking in Infernal. He lowers his head before meeting your gaze again.
So much is done. Let us leave this place.
He kind of like turns, ready to leave.
All right. Or I don't know what you plan to do when you get out of here, but you're welcome to find a place with us if we can figure something out for that, or help you get to wherever you want to go.
I wish not to be anyone's pet any longer.
I don't mean it like that.
I want to be free of this place.
Well, we're definitely going to do that. The best way that we have to get all of us out is if you go into this sphere thing. Just temporarily. And then as soon as we're out somewhere safe on the surface, we can bring you back out again.
And you promise to free me.
I
take steps towards you.
I look him in the eye. I never used to see the point in promises, but I think I understand their value better now. I promise that you will be free.
Fine then. I'll ride your sphere.
And you can hear now that you're this close, when he speaks, his voice rumbles and like vibrates your chest, like when you're at a very loud concert. In the same way, when he roared, it broke stone. He is not good at being quiet. He gestures for you to hold the sphere up as he kind of puts his head, places it against it. This kind of wide, not quite hammerhead style head, but very wide head, almost frog-like in ways.
Point of housekeeping, we absolutely would have talked to our prisoners about this ahead of time, that there is a dragon that is leaving with us, and not to be alarmed when he arrives.
He lands inside. It still frightens him. There's a big-ass dragon in there, but you've gotten him inside now.
And I have an idea, guys. So, if everyone except for me and one other person is out, we can try to walk out, and if it doesn't go well, I can teleport myself and the other person somewhere in town.
That sounds like a good idea. I look at Vesper. I think I'm the best at lying, so maybe you should take a ride.
Yep, absolutely. I'm gonna go inside the orb.
Okay.
And when Vesper is gone, I kind of look at Amson for a moment.
Elle, do you want to get back inside the orb for a second? I know you don't want to be back in there.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay, I mean, yeah, no problem.
Amson.
Can we talk about this later, please?
Oh, we will talk about this later. That was all I needed to know. And okay. I give him a little playful punch on the shoulder.
Let's get out of here.
Okay. You guys begin to walk out. Just as a clarification, it doesn't matter now, but it may matter later. It still takes a minute for you to enter, but you don't have to make the charisma save at the end. To exit, it doesn't take a minute. You just basically have to use an action to leave. Just for clarification for later, if that matters, but right now it doesn't. As Ellery and Amson, which way are you going out? There's the way back into the cellar, and then there's that other path where you have no idea where it goes.
Yeah, I think we're going back up to the cellar.
Okay.
And we're going to try and just be staff members on our way out to do an errand.
Make a performance check or deception check. Performance, the DC will be lower.
I'm going to make a performance check.
Okay.
I'm better at this.
Plus freaking 12. 18.
Jesus.
Oh, great.
Oh, sorry, you needed a 19.
Damn it.
Oh, that's a dirty 20. No,
Sure.
22.
Oh, okay, good. That helps. So you guys walk up the stairs, follow the hallway for a few minutes before you begin to head up the stairs again, coming into the kind of sub-cellar area storage. Coming out of that secret vat entrance, you enter back into the cellar proper, which is sort of the speakeasy portion of the winery. There's more movement than there was before, but it's still mostly just people setting up, moving kegs. They're placing tablecloths and setting up candles and various stuff like that, lanterns, and putting ember stones in different glasses. They're beginning to set up, and it looks like they're on the last couple steps. But you're able to kind of just basically act like you know where you're going and what you're doing, and walk towards the stairs, heading up, spiraling up until you come into what looks like a storage room. You kind of open up a wooden circular door, which is a vat. It takes you a second to kind of orient yourself. This is where you're blindfolded before, until you are able to just walk back into the winery proper. There's a few patrons here or there drinking wine, but it's still the daytime. And you're able to walk out through the front door or the side, really your choice.
Side door, I think, since we're still playing as staff.
Walk right out. The Goliath doesn't say anything, but he's still leaning against the wall. She has walk down the alleyway and into freedom.
So, should we head to maybe Stonehill Abbey? That might be the best place to let everybody go.
Yeah. Good safe place.
So you come down off of Warm Garden, the kind of wealthy area, move through Kincross, the middle upper class, down the primary boulevard, outside of the gates, and up to the Abbey, to Aiain. That's not far outside of town upon a hill. The Abbey is within line of sight to some Covenant guards on the walls, but you can easily get behind some trees or behind the building itself if you wanted to.
I think maybe how much space is there inside?
It's not a huge temple.
Okay, so in that case, yeah.
I mean, it could fit everyone, but it would be crowded, especially with the dragon and ball.
I think at least initially then we should probably just make sure that we're out of line of sight. And I guess I will go in to the sphere to...
You can talk through the bag.
Oh, hey, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna send Felix a little message. Hey, we're here. Everybody can come out now.
Thank gods. Leave, all of you. Maybe not the dragon. Should I tame the dragon? Back to Ellery.
Should be safe for the dragon. We're out of the city.
Okay, everybody out. Please, leave me alone.
Okay, so one after another, the commoners, cult, the frog, individual frogkin, and the dragon all exit.
I think we can safely stop being waiters.
Yeah.
I drop seeming.
Okay. The midget fades away.
Is Varys here? If I look inside real quick.
He is.
Papa, can I talk to you real quick outside behind the building?
He kind of puts his finger up, saying kind of 1 second, but nods to you.
Mm-hmm.
While she's doing this, I'm going to look at Ellery and be like, why so blue?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Am's going to take out a mirror, because he has one.
Holy fucking shit.
Like straight up Smurfette.
I just kind of stare at my reflection. What the fuck? I kind of just shake my head.
It's okay,
I say that's definitely not me. I did not do that.
Well, that's good to know.
Felix, in this time you've been reading over things more intimately, would you prefer, I guess I'm asking George this, would you prefer me waiting for me to send you? I'm going to send you the details either way, but do you want me to give a private quick summary to you, or do you want me to just say it out loud?
I imagine dealing with this info will happen later, so if you want to just do a quick summary.
Sure. Yeah, so summary, you have the details of the device, kind of how it works, schematics, all of that, with plenty of info on some notes about Allwrath and mainly Velvet, who you have in custody, since they were the main ones that were designing it. Some context with dwarves to the north, where apparently some of these devices were found deep under the mountain. So you get some of that information. You get information on the princes of Allwrath, all of their infernal names and their more common names. So Voyage, his real name was Prince Osius Ildred, but he went by Voyage. So they all have these sort of sin names and their real infernal names. You get information on them. Long story short, plenty of indicting evidence against them. You also get information against the Fernarms, that they are working in league with the Princes of Allwrath. And you get basically notes on plans that Allwrath, who can make himself look like whoever he wants, was going to eventually use Houston, the fashion designer, to get close to Frank Norbel and kill him and become Frank Norbel, because they needed the Norbel Tower, the big manor, has the largest emberstone anyone has ever seen. It's the size of like a Mini Cooper, maybe a little bigger. And that was going to be the primary focus. So the souls were going to be pulled through that, down the tower, come through the ceiling into the chamber where you were, where they would be sucked into the soul vault. So he was going to become Frank Norbel in order to make that happen. And so you have some evidence on that. The Norbels haven't actually done anything wrong, but you have evidence where they were going to try to impersonate them. So long story short, that's the detail. I'll give you the specifics in the message.
Hey, did you find anything about what that device might be that Voyage wanted me to get for him?
You probably could guess. It's some of the missing pieces they need to complete, kind of going from the ceiling and to finish the device.
Yeah, I'll pass that along.
I suppose, Vesper, you should probably tell your friend about that, along with the other info.
Well, I'm meeting him tonight. Did y'all just want to come with me and we can totally change the tone of the evening? Because I'm fine with that, if we want to totally change the tone of the evening.
I smirk a little bit when she says this. I'm not sure seeing my face would make him trust this info anymore.
Right.
You know he doesn't like me.
I know he doesn't like you. Well, I can have dinner with him and tell him how wonderful you are and that you've totally redeemed yourself. And then be like, hey, I've got lots of information, or do I just want to lead off the bat with this because I'd rather do that?
Can we probably... I hate to get in the middle of your vitally interesting personal drama, but this all seems rather important and damning, so I don't think we have to pussyfoot around about it. Unless your entire town is so corrupt and just appalling that they would allow this to happen without, are they going to just let them go because they have money? What the hell's...
Well, they might, but
they wouldn't want to let go of the power that they already have.
I'll talk to Roderick and tell him I have stuff to tell him. Ask him a couple questions to see if he's any sort of trustworthy, and then I'll lead him to us outside and we can explain everything. Right? Sound good?
Yeah.
Just kind of test the waters and then bring him outside. It won't take long.
Yeah, and there are witnesses to the fact that people have been kidnapped.
We have them here. I can take him back here to we'll take him back here to the Abbey and explain on the way what's going on.
That sounds good. Before we do that, should we let poor Miss Forrester go home?
Yes. Elle.
Miss Forrester, you were invaluable in this endeavor. Truly. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So Elle is just kind of sitting there and half not paying attention and just very, very worn out and tired, and looks at you and says, I'd like to go home and take a bath now.
And hey, if you ever feel like it, you're always welcome at the Copper Sale. I'll put in a good word for you next time when I get home.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Hey, Colt. Next time this lady comes into the copper sale, make sure she gets a discount on her drinks.
Elle lights up at that.
Oh, well, great. So there'll only be, 2 coppers?
I'm going to poke my head back inside.
He is walking around the corner right now.
As Elle is leaving, Felix will go up to her. I do want to apologize. I know I may have made your business dealings a little bit more difficult. However, having been inside of your closet, I do know that you have talent. Should Asmazaros come back, I would be happy to make some introductions over there if you would like to expand to a different city.
She looks at him and is genuinely very touched and says, "Thank you so much. You do carry off my clothes exceptionally well." And she looks back to everyone and says, "Anytime you want any update on your clothing, darling, just come on by and we'll see what we can do."
I share a look with Vesper like, we are definitely going to do that sometime.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Elle. Get home safe.
And Elle will pop one of her last lemon drops into her mouth and wander off down the road.
Okay. As Elle is walking into the sunset that will occur in 6 hours, with Houston's broken glasses, but also his cigar box of very fine cloths. We also see the dragon who is beginning to head off into the woods. You haven't seen him fly yet, and he's just dragging these massively heavy wings through the dirt, leaving these 2 ditches to the left and right of him about 10 feet apart, and he's just moving into the woods. There's this funny Shrek and Donkey visual as the frog folk is just jabbering away at him, kind of following the dragon as they move into the woods. And we will wrap up here in the next basically minute. I'm going to get an idea of where you guys are going after this. So Varys comes around the corner. Oh, I'm sorry, I should clean this up too. A lot of the villagers and stuff, some of them have hanging around. A few have begun to move into the city.
If they started going away, I would want to at least get their names so that the Covenant can be informed of who witnesses are.
Easily done.
We can keep one here. If one wants to stick around, I can, this is a sanctuary.
2 are sticking around. They're not really sure where to go.
At least I think I can convince
city.
Colt to stick around a little longer.
Yeah, he's chill. He's just literally is sitting on a fucking stump.
So so let them know this is a sanctuary. You can stay here. We're going to get the Covenant to help what happened. It's going to be fine.
Varys comes out. Do these people need help?
Yeah. Got a lot to talk about, Papa.
All right. He kind of looks at the other people. Well, come inside. We'll take care of you.
And I'll fill him in quietly as we're kind of...
Okay. Okay. So give me an idea of what are your next steps? You bring the people in. The priest is kind of checking them over, healing them if they need it, getting them some food, some new clothes. So they're taking care of the people. Vesper, you fill in Varys. Give me an idea of what you guys are doing or planning so that we can pick up next time on a roll, basically.
I think next step is to send Vesper to go talk to Roderick.
Yeah, so organizing I think we need to organize all of our evidence right now.
Yeah, we'll get Vesper to hopefully get the Covenant in on it, and then Felix's biggest thing is trying to figure out how to safely dismantle the device and then hopefully do something with the brain to prevent it from being able to be used in this way in the near future.
Okay. So as you guys are kind of filling in Varys and discussing amongst yourselves about organizing the evidence, and Felix, you begin to fill them in more detail, and you guys begin to plan that, begin to fade out, as you guys will begin those next steps next session. And the last image we have before we close out is Elle kind of coming into the wild elegance, going into away from the shop and into the more home side of it, just throwing off her now somewhat dirty jacket and pouring a bubble bath and opening a bottle of wine. We'll pick up next week. Thank you, Noelle, aka of Slightly, for joining us. Go check her out. Someone posted a picture of I guess that's a bullywug.
It's the frog from Spirited Away.
Yeah, that's what he looks like. That's exactly what he looks like. And we'll pick this up next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. For notifications when an episode goes live, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. Download the app of your choice and subscribe or favorite us there. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can tweet us at back2_the_story. If you can't fit it into 280 characters, you can always email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. And if you'd like further information about the campaign, the player characters, NPCs, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, follow us on either Twitter or on our Tumblr, back-to-the-story.tumblr.com. Lastly, if you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory. We'll see you next time in Norithville.